Alright, hey guys, this will be my video for factoring by grouping when a is equal to 1. So let's do this. First of all, a is going to be the number, when I say a, I mean the number that's next to the x cubed right there, which is 1 in this case. There's imaginary 1. So in this expression, a is 1, so it's going to be easier when a is 1, but you're going to also have to learn how to do it when a is not 1, and I'll cover that in a different video. But let's get right into it. First of all, what we mean by factoring is just simplifying this down. Instead of being this minus this plus this minus this, we're just going to have it by two things, like one thing multiplied by another thing. So we're just trying to make it easier to see and like simpler. So when we want to start, I always like to start by separating them into groups. So this will be your first group and this will be your second group. So the groups will always be the first two and the second two, and they're going to be separated by either a plus or a minus in the middle. So once you have them separated, you can go right into like handling them separately. All right, so we've got x cubed minus 5x squared on the left. So we want to bring something out of that. So we want to make something on the outside times something on the inside of the parentheses. So to do that, I'm gonna show you the expanded way. We will get used to doing it normal eventually. So basically, let's look at x cubed. That's just x times x times x. That's what x cubed is, right? So then on the right, we've got minus 5 times x times x. So that's what those things are simplified. So what do they have in common? That's what we need to be looking for. So you'll notice they both have an x times x in common, and x times x is just x squared. So that's what they have in common. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that out of each of them. We're going to take it out of the x cubed, and we're going to take it out of the 5x squared. So once we do that, it's going to be on the outside of the parentheses. We just remove it from where it was before. So removing it and taking it to the outside. So what's left after we remove it? Well, it's just an x on this side, so you can see that right there. And on this side, it's a minus 5, right? So that's all you need to do is simplify the left side. So now we move on to the right side. 3x minus 15. This one's a little bit different because obviously there's no x on the 15, so we're going to have to take something else out. So let's do exactly what we did on the last one. 3x is just 3 times x, obviously. And then for 15, you're going to have to do something a little bit different because you're going to need to take something out. But since there's no x to take out, you're going to have to break down 15. So what is 15? 15 is 3 times 5. And then there's a minus in the middle, of course. So what do you notice about this 3 times x right here? And the 3 times 5? What do they have in common? Well, it's just that 3. So we're going to take the 3 out. And it's going to be on the outside of the parentheses, just like the x squared on the last one. So once you cross the 3's out, what do you get in the middle? Well, on the left, we're left in x. Then on the right, we're left with the 5. So x times 5. So that's really the hard part. That's all you really need to know for this type of problem. But the next part is really easy once you get used to it. And one important thing is, you see how this x times 5 right here, and this x times 5 right here, the stuff in the parentheses on the left and right side, they have to be the same. If you're going to move to the next step, they need to be the same. That's what factoring by grouping is. You need to have that x minus 5 as the same. So the next part of it is just really easy. All you have to do is make your parentheses like that. I mean, you don't even have to make the parentheses first, but I just like to make it easier. And then on the left, we're going to have our x squared from that right there. And then on the right, you're going to take that plus 3. So just think about it as the stuff beside the parentheses is going to go together. X squared plus 3. Then on the right, in the parentheses on this new one, we're just going to keep that x minus 5. It has to stay the same because we're just saying x squared times this plus 3 times this is the same as x squared plus 3 times this. So you're just going to have 1x minus 5 now. And that's really all you need to do for this problem. That's the answer right there. So I'm going to just explain this just a little bit to make it simpler so you know how. If you're going to multiply out this right here, it's x squared plus 3 times x minus 5. What you would do is say x squared times x, well, that's x cubed. X squared times 5, that's going to be minus 5x squared. And then the 3 times the x, that's plus 3x. And then the 3 times the 5, that's minus 15. So that right there, I mean, that's just me explaining it because you see, that's the original problem that we started with. So what we did in those steps was just simplify it down into x squared plus 3 minus, or x squared plus 3 times x minus 5. So what I just did was explaining that that's not part of the problem at all, but yeah, it's just simplifying that multiplication down. So let's do one more problem. I mean, that's pretty simple. That's just factoring by grouping. This next one's going to be 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 15x minus 30. So this one, it looks like a isn't 1. Remember I said a was going to be 1? Well, this is a bit of a trick one because it looks like a isn't 1, but it actually is. So, first of all, it doesn't really look like a 30, but first of all, go through and look. You got a 3, a 6, a 15, and a 30. So what are those? You should notice something when you look at this problem. Those all go into 3. So what you can do is you can take a 3, just like we did with the x squared and the 3 on the left side on the other problem. We can basically just take a 3 and put everything else in the middle. So we just took a 3 out. So when we take the 3 out of the 3x cubed, we're left with just x cubed. Then when you take the 3 out of the minus 6x squared, we're left with minus 2x squared. And that's because 3 times 2 is 6. So when you take the 3 out of the 6, you're just doing 6 divided by 3, which is 2. And then for the 15x, just like we did over there, taking a 3 out of 15, you're going to get 5x. And then when you take the 3 out of the 30, it's just 30 divided by 3, which is 10. So basically what we've got is we just took out that 3 to make it easier on us. So now that we've got the 3, the whole entire problem, you can just keep it on the outside. Like, don't even worry about it, because when you finish the problem, it's still going to be on the outside. So that should always be your first thing that you look for. Like, can I take something out of every single value? So we've got left in there that x cubed minus 2x squared plus 5x minus 10. So now what I'm going to want you to do is just exactly like I did the last problem, just try it out with what's left in those parentheses. And don't worry about the 3 on the outside, just try it out and I'll show you the answer in a second. Okay, we're back. I just filled out that problem real quick and I hope you guys did too, but I'll just explain it in case you didn't get the same answer. So just like I did in the last problem, start by separating the stuff in parentheses that you need to. So we've got the x cubed minus 2x squared and the 5x minus 10. So once you do that, you can take something out of it. So just like the last one, you can take an x squared out of the left side. So once you take it out, you're left with x minus 2 in the middle. And then on the right side, you got 5x minus 10. So 10 is obviously 5 times 2. So you can take out that 5 from both sides. So you've got 5 times, and then in parentheses, x minus 2. So like you'll notice again, like the last problem, x minus 2 is the same. The stuff in the parentheses on both sides should be the same. It has to be the same if you want to do the next step. So the next step, you just take what's on the left outside the parentheses and what's on the left outside the parentheses on the next one. So x squared plus 5, and then x minus 2. And that's all. That's all you got to do for that problem. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions at all, my school email is jg55629@students.hcde.org. So email me if you have any questions at all math related about your math class, and I'll try to help you out.